A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
It is the Mason Crosby Show, live from the 1250 AM 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tommy Wirtz here with you, joined by the Packers' all-time leading scorer, Mr. Mason Crosby. Good morning, Mason.
Good morning. I'm going to try to keep, Mitch gave me a hard time. What was that? Last week when I was just all over the place, like on Monday, because I was just so excited about the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to keep my thoughts in order because but it's going to be really hard because I'm super excited. I mean, that was unbelievable.
And joining us in the first segment of the Mason Crosby Show, as he does each and every Friday, the most keep your thoughts in order man I can think of that works here, Mr. Andy Herman. Andy, good morning as well.
Good morning to you guys as well. I do have some bad. I don't want to start off with bad news, but I do have actually some bad news. It has been reported that Jeff Hafley was caught walking across the crosswalk, but he was going he was actually jaywalking. He was jaywalking, and there was an old lady that had groceries. He did not help her with their groceries to the car. Also, there's some news out there that he did not return his shopping cart to the cart aisle. This is not a head coach candidate in the future, guys. I don't know how any team could possibly view Jeff Hafley as a head coaching candidate after some of these insane allegations that are out there. I think he's going to have to remain defensive coordinator with some of the stuff that's floating around.
Just imagine Jeff Hafley calling double mug blitz at Aldi, like right there on an old lady. Like that would just be
wrecks her cart, just sending people, just send them.
Just a poor human being. It's just unfortunate. He had head coach written all over him, but he's not ready. Like he's going to have to stay a coordinator forever now.
Yeah, he's not ready. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I thank you for that news and that update because we were concerned he was going to go somewhere, but with that kind of attitude, like nobody's going to want to touch that.
I mean, seriously,
that's crazy.
This guy, enjoy him while he's here, right, Mason? Because there's no shot he's staying after the season.
Yes, for sure. I mean, obviously what he did last year, what he's doing right now, like the creativity, the way he calls those defenses. Let's be honest though. That defense is really good. Has some football players on that team.
Stacked.
Those are ball players. I mean, it is ridiculous. Bullard had a night. Keyshawn Nixon is McLaurin a good wide receiver? I don't know. I mean, Keyshawn Nixon just made him look amateur. My guy, I was telling Tommy right before, Andy, my favorite player on that defense right now, Devontae Wyatt.
I knew you were going to say Devontae Wyatt before you said Devontae Wyatt. He's playing
I love those. I love those big guys, and it's a game changer. Diving through the legs to try to intercept a spike at the end of the game when you're beaten up and it's like game's pretty much over. Like, give me all of that. Like I told Tommy I would have been on the sideline just losing my mind. I would have just been like, yes, go. Because that was so awesome. And he is just a force to be reckoned with. I mean, this run defense, what is the stat? I think they've given up 49 rush yards or something in the first two games against two teams that love to run the football.
Average.
I mean, it's insane.
Average. The average. I think it's 90,
the average
the
per
97,
game.
97
49
right now.
Per game average. Yes. But I mean, that's insane. It's just insanity. And, and that's again, Kenny Clark, a great run defender, has, been exceptional for the Packers. Cowboys took him to shore up their run game. So, I mean, it's like, I think I'm so happy that this team has stepped up and just playing at a high level. I mean, that score could have been 34 plus, right? I mean, that game could have gotten out of hand early.
Easily.
Commanders are a good team. They kept them in it. Packers were kind of shooting themselves in the foot a couple times, but an awesome game. So what in that game did you see that, potentially needs to be cleaned up? I have a few thoughts, but I'd love to hear your thoughts, Andy.
think it's just offensive efficiency. I mean, special teams, I'm willing to give a little bit of accident forgiveness with the fact that Bo Melton, Zane Anderson, two of your best specialists, are out in that game. You could tell the coverage was certainly not the same. They had Kamal Haddon in as a jammer on one play, and he just basically didn't touch the guy at all. And the guy went right down and was able to make a tackle. So they were missing a couple of their core guys, and you could tell. But I think you want to get a little bit of that cleaned up. McManus, he made up for it later on the long field goal, but had the doink off the crossbar. You could tell he was upset with himself right after that, right before halftime. But I think a couple things there on teams, and then offensively, just the efficiency stuff. There's just moments where it's this close to being supercharged. And to your point, like there was so much more that was out there on the field. I love how aggressive this offense is in a world where everything is checked down and the average depth of target is just plummeting down like a stock market that's collapsing. You see it the exact opposite in Green Bay, where you're seeing 15-yard throw, 20-yard throw, 50-yard throw down the field. And it's just Jordan getting back there in clean pockets and absolutely letting it rip. And I think once you start seeing a couple of those big-time completions get completed a little bit more regularly, and you start seeing this run game come along a little bit more, it's just game over at that point. And you can tell, like, they're 2 games in. Jordan missed some time, during camp with the thumb injury on his left hand and things like that. Hopefully they get a little bit more practice time coming up this week just to shore up a couple of those things. But once that efficiency comes on offense, I don't know what you do to stop this team, because then it's going to be firing on all cylinders. That's what I'm waiting for. But that's the only thing at this point, Mace. Once it gets done with that, I don't know where else they kind of go. They're going to be really freaking good. Yeah.
They're really good. And to be able to hold, two really good teams, the teams that were, some of the best teams in the NFL last year. And like, obviously Commanders projected to be another really, they're going to be a good team this year. Lions probably still the same. We still have some question marks there, but yeah, I think my only thing too is like, there were some spots, and I do think the Commanders have a good front four, especially probably a good, front seven is one of the better ones in the game. And, they affected Jordan a couple times, but I still think that offensive line with missing 2 starters, they put, what was it? They put Belton in to start, and then Kennard came in and played.
And they kind of rotated him.
A lot of snaps in that game as well. So, you didn't notice Jordan Morgan not, doing his job and, being out there. He was effective. The touchdown pass to Romeo Doubs, though, like, I love like the fake fade. I mean, that route was so dirty, and it looked like Jordan looked like he was like open to throw that corner, and then just like threw that nice like inside slant. I mean, they abused that Washington Commanders secondary. Like Lattimore looked lost out there. I mean, it's like that guy has been a Pro Bowler. I mean, he's a top corner, and they were just running him ragged. As soon as I saw them go to man and they were playing man like most of the game, I was like, oh my gosh, like our receivers, our team's going to eat, especially with Tucker Kraft into the mix as well.
It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Andy Herman, Pack-A-Day Radio. Follow him on Twitter at Andy Herman NFL. I want to play this clip for you guys here too, because I want your instant reactions. It's Micah Parsons speaking on the defensive performance through the last 2 weeks.
Best defense in NFL terms, those is earned. It's early to say. The best defense do it consistently. Consistency equals greatness. And, we had a great start, so I'm just happy about that. But we can be a great defense. It's just up to us to continue to push and strive for that.
Did you know Pat Murphy is also the manager of the Brewers and the coach of the Green Bay Packers with that word set right there? It's the exact same thing, right? We can be. They're so hungry still, Andy and Mason. Like, they don't care about what they have done. They have so much higher goals now, and they bought in so fast. Andy, your reaction to that?
Yeah, I'm right there too. And it just feels like getting Micah Parsons on this defense just, again, kind of supercharged everything. Rob Domofsky just put this tweet out. Getting Micah over here, it changed up their whole personality. That was wide receiver Malik Heath on the Packers defense. And it feels like they just kind of needed that boost of confidence. I mean, Micah is changing when like the entire everything when he's in there, but it still feels like this defense is playing with a different energy and intensity, even when he's not in there. It felt like this is just a little kick that this defense needed to recognize that they can be as good as they want to be. And when you've got guys like Devontae Wyatt and LVN stepping up in a significant way, Edgerrin Cooper taking over from where he was a season ago, Quay Walker playing some of his best football, these corners batting away everything on the outside. Evan Williams looks fantastic. Bullard, as you mentioned, had a phenomenal day yesterday. It's everyone kind of doing their job. And yes, like it is going to take this consistency. Well, like remember that one game where the Chicago Bears victory in week 1 where Aaron Rodgers after is like, we got a defense. No, you played Mitch Trubisky. Is what happened. You didn't have a defense yet. This now it feels like you have a defense, but that just goes to show you have to show that week in and week out if you really want that moniker as one of the best in the league. They're going to have Cleveland next, the throwing Joe Flacco's. We'll see how they're able to do against that in week 3, but I'm feeling very confident right now with where this defense is at.
Mason, you've had some teams that you really like to credit the defensive performance, especially 15, 14 years ago. You talk about how great the defense was during that Super Bowl run and whatnot. But like seriously, this defense right now through 2 games has potential to surpass any I've seen in my lifetime for Green Bay, it feels like.
Yeah, it's speed and physicality. I mean, they are the fastest, like they have the fastest guys on the field. Every time they're on defense, they are the most physical when they're on defense. And that, and it was interesting because Dan Quinn last night, he was on that Seattle staff when it was the Legion of Boom there in Seattle. And honestly, since that, like this looks like that type of defense. It is just relentless pursuit of the football. They attack everything. There is no let up. Evan Williams thumped some guys yesterday. It's like everybody is the most physical and relentless to the ball. You saw Micah Parsons a couple times, like no business. He's not even in the play, but he's finishing till that ball carrier's on the ground every time. And that's where it starts. It has to start from the top. It has to start from your best players, and then everybody feeds off of that. So, yeah, I can't say enough about what the defense is doing, but I totally agree with him in his regard that they are 2-0. This has only been 2 games. Like they are a really good defense. They have proven that already, but they want to be a great defense, and that takes time. That takes doing it over and over again, overcoming injuries because there will be injuries. So who's going to plug in when that time comes to go out there and ball out? And only time will tell. But as of right now, we have to be pretty excited, pretty optimistic that this is going to be one of the best Packers defenses we've seen in a long time.
Well, and this guy.
And the ball handed off, and the tackle is made right away. Lucas Van Ness, 2 yards back of the line of scrimmage, second down.
Andy, I don't think anyone was look, I've said it multiple times on multiple shows all across this station. I was, maybe still am, the biggest hater of Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness, but you cannot doubt what they have done the last 2 weeks. Lucas Van Ness looks like a first-round pick. He looks like the guy they were looking for out of Iowa when they decided to draft him. And Rashawn Gary, he picked up another sack yesterday as well. This defense now has gotten better all around it because of Micah Parsons, something we all predicted. And here's the other one here from Ryan Wood, at by Ryan Wood on Twitter. He joins the Wisconsin Sports Daily today around 2:40. Micah Parsons took 50 snaps yesterday.
Yeah, he played a lot.
Jumped a huge amount. He had, I think it was 8 pressures. It was unofficially 7, he said. I think it went up to 8.
It was 7 or 8 quarterback hits.
Four QB hits from Micah Parsons alone, a half a sack, and 3 drawn penalties. Andy, the other guys other than Micah Parsons is where I want to focus, though. LVN, Rashawn Gary. No, I could not see them looking this good through 2 weeks just by adding a Micah Parsons.
Well, the interesting thing is the most impactful defender up front in all of training camp prior to any Micah Parsons stuff was LVN. And everyone, myself included, had sort of the same feel of like, he's doing amazing. I'm not going to get overhyped about this because we need to see it in the regular season. Like it's one thing to do it in camp. It's another, like, can it actually carry over into games? I mean, he was super impactful. He was consistently in the backfield. He had one day where he just completely wrecked practice. Like it was the best that I had ever seen LVN. And he completely just wrecked shop for the Packers offense all day long. And even after seeing that all training camp long, I still held the same feeling of like, that's cool. Do it in the regular season. And now we're seeing him do it in the regular season. Devontae Wyatt, similar sort of stuff. He didn't have the huge training camp. In fact, I thought he had one of the more quiet training camps of any player, where it was just like, is Devontae Wyatt even on this team anymore? And then he comes into the season and he has been absolutely tearing it up on the inside. I was so like, Mason and I were in lockstep when he was talking about him earlier. I'm like, he's going to say Devontae Wyatt here, deservedly so. And he's been insane on the interior. And then we've talked about it, guys. Like, it's like you had a number 2 pitcher as your ace and a number 3 pitcher as your number 2. And then all of a sudden you make that big trade for CC Sabathia, and CC Sabathia gets your number 1 spot. And then your number 1 guy goes to 2, your 2 goes to 3, your 3 to 4, your 4 to 5. And your whole rotation is now exactly where it's supposed to be. And it felt like maybe Rashawn Gary was a little bit over his skis as a number 1, maybe LVN a little bit as a 2, maybe Devontae Wyatt as a 3, and so on and so forth. But now you've got Mike as the 1, and it puts everything else exactly into place where you want it to. And now all that attention goes to your number 1 guy. And now Rashawn's getting one-on-ones, and LVN's be able to line up all over the place. And Devontae Wyatt's lining up against some more advantageous matchups, and all the attention on them. So all those guys get one-on-one blocks, and now everything comes together and looks fantastic. That's what it feels like, and it's been really fun to watch.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said. And, I'll even add this, though. It's like, I love the stuff on X, like all the social media, just about, again, Halfley just being a sick man. It's like the guy is a nut job. I mean, he puts Micah Parsons at the 3 technique, and it's like, and you bring and you mug up Quay and you mug up Cooper, and it's like, who's going, who's staying. Van Ness is dropping into coverage. Like, it is such a hard defense to play against. And that's what I'm going to say too, is that these first 2 weeks, like, it's a good defense when you dictate to the offense how they have to play the game.
Yep.
And that is what this defense is doing. It is, and let's be real, like, the pass rush, exceptional, but it's also discipline, because against the Jaden Daniels, if you just light your hair on fire and you're running at him, he's going to probably move around and find some space to try to beat you with his legs. But he couldn't even do that in this game because the pass rush was so disciplined. And I mean, he just went into he looked like Jared Goff out there.
Yeah, Mason.
It's like, let's just dink and dunk. Let's just throw it to our running backs. And I mean, he had a time clock where he's like, I literally can't hold the ball longer than 3 seconds.
Mason, I don't know if you've seen it probably live in person yesterday, just showing it on TV. The game was won maybe at 14-0. You could have said almost sooner, maybe, based on Jaden Daniels' body language. I thought he looked totally out of place yesterday and never was going to be moving the ball. And, smiling at Parsons, like, that was like a total, like, all the time it felt like yesterday. I don't know if you picked up on that vibe too, Mason, but it just seemed like the moment was almost too big for Jaden Daniels.
A little bit, yeah. And it again, I think I texted y'all and I said, I think when it was 17-3, I'm like, I mean, it's over. Yeah. Like, they're not, like, they can just kind of hold this. Like, they will not score, that many points if this stays how it is. And then you saw too, is like Micah Parsons got 3 penalties called against him. I mean, there probably could have been 8+. I mean, that offensive tackle, like, both sides. I mean, Tunsil's a great tackle, the rookie on the other side. I mean, how many times can you have your like a guy be outside your frame and you hook them and not get called for offensive holding? I mean, it's like Micah Parsons was on their edge every single time. And then I loved it because then he steps hard upfield. That rookie right tackle went hard back, and that's when he threw him inside and beats him on the inside. So it's those weapons, it's that creativity in the pass rush and all those things. And then it allows Keyshawn Nixon to have a great night. It allows Bullard, Evan, everybody can just clamp down on the outside because they know that time clock is real. And if we let these guys run routes, a good quarterback's going to find them, but they can press up on these guys. Keyshawn Nixon is playing press coverage on McLaurin on the outside, like, and breaking on on little stop routes, which is wild to imagine that for this Packers defense. And they are just doing it at a high rate. It's super confident. Halfley has them exactly where they need to be. And again, I like the part of it's a disciplined football team as well. Like, because that we can't forget that. They're not just like being crazy and doing wild stuff. I mean, they are disciplined in what they're doing every time they step on the field.
Andy, thank you so much for popping on today. Any closing remarks on the Packers Commanders after the Week 2 victory?
I just want to go back to that Micah Parsons play really quick. The one that Mason's saying where like he's obviously going outside and then he stutter or like does like a jab step outside and then just immediately cuts inside and then goes inside and Josh Connerly is just completely lost and has to hold him. And Parsons still gets a half sack on that play. He, in the very blink of an eye, goes a full gap over before a 300+ pound offensive lineman can remotely react to it. So if you're thinking about Josh Connerly for a second, the first thing you have to worry about is if Micah Parsons just goes pure speed off the edge and you don't get set out there, your quarterback's just obliterated and you're not going to be able to get around to him if he just goes pure speed. So you have to get out there with pure speed, right? And even then you have to also be aware that like he might just try to go right through you. So you have to get out there and then also be ready to anchor if he decides to turn speed into power and just try to bull rush you back into the quarterback. So just even imagine this as a rookie, but so you plant outside to make sure that he can't get around you. You're one-on-one on this play. And you're thinking, all right, he's coming out. He jab steps outside. You're thinking he's coming around the edge. And then in the instant blink of an eye, he is a full gap over and inside of you. And you're a 300-pound offensive tackle, a rookie, and you're just like, what? He just literally teleported from one gap to the other. And now I have to get inside and try to stop him on the inside and move my 300+ pound body as this guy's running a 4.340 to the quarterback, now a full gap over. You can't do anything. You just can't do anything against that. I don't care who you are, and especially as a rookie. And the only thing you can do is hold them. He holds them. And the only thing that does is cost Micah Parsons a full sack because Edgerrin Cooper was able to get there in the same time now that he was being held, and he gets a half sack instead. Like that's all you can do. It is crazy what that guy can do on the edge. And I do not envy any offensive lineman having to go against that because you're just in no man's land.
Andy Herman, not excited about the Packers season at all underway here. Andy, thank you so much for jumping on. Have a great rest of your weekend, my friend. I'll talk to you on Monday.
Can't wait. Thanks so much, guys. Enjoy the day.
Appreciate it.
There he is, Andy Herman, joining us on the Mason Crosby Show. You can listen to Andy Herman 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. every single weekday right before the Mason Crosby Show on the Pack-A-Day radio show. Mace, we got a lot more to get into with this Green Bay Packers team. What an awesome performance yesterday.
Yeah, great night, solid all around. I want to talk about this offense a little bit. I want to talk about the play calling, Jordan Love's performance, and there's just too many things. So we'll jump into that in the next segment.
It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, live from the 1250 AM 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
56-yard attempt from McManus to make it 17 points, and he does indeed hang it through.
Wow, just electric call there from Al Michaels. Could you tell that was a 56-yard bomb by your boy?
In a big moment. Like they needed it.
Yeah, I know. And Al Michaels, meanwhile, was sipping on a glass of milk while he was calling that game.
Just sitting around watching a casual football matchup.
That's fine. I'll take all my hate I had for LVN and Rashawn Gary and throw it on Al Michaels.
All right, you're on that train now.
Yeah, I've been on that train. We've had a couple of cars on this hate train, and it was Rashawn Gary, LVN, Al Michaels. Now Al Michaels no longer the caboose. He has moved up.
He's running that train. Yeah, he's leading that train down the tracks.
It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Tommy Wirtz here with you for about the next half hour or so until Mitch Thunder Nellis jumps on the Mason Crosby Show. And then, of course, Middays with Thunder will be live from 11 to 2 today. Mr. Mason Crosby, where I want to go next here is to the quarterback, Jordan Love, because it felt like he didn't get a lot of love in that first segment of the show today. Phenomenal stuff from Jordan. He was 19 of 31, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, the quarterback rating sitting at 113.9. I'll ask the question to the group, and then I'll ask you, Mr. Crosby, did Jordan Love enter the conversation of MVP? Elites, maybe, is a better word for it yesterday after that performance against Washington? Nicolay Law, fan talk and text line 414-677-1250 if you want to join the show. Mason, I don't know how much better you want Jordan Love to play through 2 weeks of the season.
And that's a great question to pose. I mean, he's definitely the best quarterback in the NFC North. I mean, so now we've established that. Like, he is leading this team in a way. He runs the offense effectively how LaFleur wants him to. He finds a bunch of different receivers. It just looks like he's in total command. I will say, before I sing his praises, because I did think obviously he had an amazing night. Like, and I think you could see it in his face. Like, he missed a couple deep throws that, like, you just wish maybe a little more air on it, just like maybe didn't make the right choice on how he aired it out to some of those deep balls. But other than that, I mean, the throws on the sidelines, like the command, like, again, I talked about the Romeo Doubs touchdown. It was just the action where he kind of dips his shoulder like he's throwing that fade and then just kind of pops it into that, that quick slant. Like, those are really, just, you can tell that's detail, that's discipline, it's all those things. And then just tell me that it doesn't light a fire under you when your quarterback lowers the boom to get the first down, and then his pop-up game, because that's what a lot of guys talk in that locker room. Great pop-up game. Randall Cobb might have had the best pop-up game in the history of football. Takes a shot, gets knocked down, but you pop right back up. You might be hurting like crazy, but you got to get up quick. And Jordan Love did that. I was a little nervous when he got hit in the back, by the second guy, but his pop-up game was good. And you could tell that energy, like that brings the team whenever your quarterback's willing to sacrifice himself every once in a while to go and get that first down.
On fourth down, here it's 3rd and 9.
There's your boy.
Chased out. Some room to roam. Can he get the first down? Yes! Bangs into the defender and picks up an extra 5. And the crowd loves it. First and goal.
Well, we came into this game thinking that it'd be Jaden Daniels you got to look out for on these kind of situations. But Jordan Love showing you that he's got the ability, to make a defense pay if they play man coverage and they forget to account for him. He gets outside. What I love is the end of this. Instead of getting down, he lowers the shoulder and goes right over Quan Martin, the safety.
Who is Quan Martin, the guy who got absolutely wrecked by Jordan Love?
Yeah, he's a posterized now.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen the backside of that? Like, his body's like twisted up. I mean, Jordan just ran through him. And again, like that energy, it takes you to another level. You're just like, all right, from the top down, quarterback, everybody, we are the more physical, just kind of better prepared team on a week in, week out basis. And they've shown that these first 2 games, they are just out there doing their thing. Jordan Love, like you said, 1931, took some shots, which that like I'm fine with. I mean, his seam throws there might not be a guy in the league right now that throws a better ball in that kind of like in between numbers and hash, that seam. Tucker Kraft caught one. I think Musgrave caught one in that space, like getting those tight ends. And I got to give a lot of credit here to Coach LaFleur, because he was creative. He showed a lot of similar formations that they showed against the Lions, but then all of a sudden now we're releasing tight ends. I mean, I think he had 3 tight ends on the field at one point, and they all ran like seams and streaks down the field. And it's just like so many guys to account for, and being able to show all these similar formations and then do a lot of different concepts out of it. Super creative, really well done. And let me jump to, because we're talking Jordan Love, we're talking this offense. We're talking, has he taken that step to elite? And I mean, you can't say no. He definitely is in that conversation. And I think a lot of it talks to when the Commanders scored there, right? And the game got a little tighter. They were within a touchdown. That's the closest they ever got. And Jordan Love and that offense, that next series, because I think we were all thinking like, man, they got a little conservative. 17-3. They feel really good about where they're at. They're kind of just plotting along. They get scored on at 17-10. Jordan Love takes that offense down the field and gets a touchdown to just, put that game away. And I think that to me was like the key moment in this game, where you get hit in the mouth just a little bit. Defense maybe didn't have their best series. Offense comes back out, answers, says, this game is over. We got it done. We can do this so many different ways. And that's what championship football is built around, right?
Yeah, and they did it by going to this guy.
From the 8 to the outside. Wide open touchdown. Tucker Kraft. Lambeau lead. And it's a 2-possession game again.
Tucker Kraft, a monster day. Highlights courtesy of Amazon Prime. It is the Mason Crosby Show, talking the Packers' 27-18 victory over the Washington Commanders yesterday at Lambeau Field. If Jordan Love, now I was talking about this with Andy as well on the Pack a Day radio show, Mason. Jordan Love, this was the Tucker Kraft breakout game, right? He has the monster day of over 100 yards, 6 grabs while he's at it. It would not surprise me, Mason, if it's a different guy next week, if it's someone else, if it is the Matthew Golden game, if it is the Savion Williams game, whoever it might be, because last week it was Romeo Doubs connecting on the deep ball. And then, of course, the big play came from Tucker Kraft on that seam route again, where he just found separation. The dots, like, I don't know if it's Amazon or Next Gen or whatever, they just show the dots, like the dots on that play to just see, oh, every dot is running away from this dot that just keeps running forward right now. That was Tucker Kraft on that big play for 57 yards.
I mean, to think your tight end has 6 catches for 124. I mean, well, that is insane, right? I mean, the guy is just affecting the game, a 20.7 yard average. I mean, it's like you don't see that much with tight ends.
That's Kelsey Kittle stuff.
That is. I mean, it's ridiculous, and he's carving himself out, and that's was. We all knew Tucker Kraft is a dog, and he's a great player, and he's shown all those sparks. He's a great guy in the red zone to throw to, but now he just established himself as a weapon for this offense. And again, like you said, it could be someone else next week, because Cleveland Browns are going to say, all right, we're stopping Tucker Kraft. We're going to stop this run game, and then Jordan Love has no fear going to any of his other 6 guys that he can choose from to go and make a play. I mean, Malik Heath makes maybe one of the best catches in a long time for Packers wide receiver on the sideline. Like, that was unbelievable. And that's the only catch he had, but he got it done when he needed it. And the fact that Jordan Love would throw that just means that it's like, I'm confident in all these guys at making plays whenever I'm asking them to.
I'm looking at Jordan Love's first 2 games from this year versus his first 2 games from last year. Now, you remember he missed week 2 and week 3, but we have not seen Jordan Love get off to a better start to a season. Remember, his first year starting, it took a while before the rhythm got moving for Green Bay. And
then
last
hurt his knee last year.
Last year hurts his knee in Brazil on not a friendly Progress Field radio show that we have. But last year, Jordan Love had the 6 touchdowns and 4 interceptions through the first 2 weeks of the season. His passer rating was 83 in both of those games. This year, he has the 4 touchdowns, no interception. His passer rating is 120 on average through both of those games. It's the efficiency, Mason. And yesterday, we really saw it where it might have been the first game in a long time where we didn't go after he made a throw, because he was making smart decisions. He was trying the plays that he knew were there. And if it wasn't, he was getting rid of the football.
Yeah. And I mean, again, like, he does get, like, I think some people are a little overcritical about him forcing things or different, like kind of the decisions he makes. But let's not forget, he's had 9 straight games now, I think he just tied Aaron's number for 9 consecutive regular season games without an interception. I mean, that is unbelievable. Like, it's just like, that's rarefied air. Like, that is not something that you see all the time. And so he is taking care of the football. He's not forcing things. It just looks really confident and comfortable back there. Again, you got to give the offensive line a lot of credit, because that was a good defensive front. Then they got to him a couple times and they disrupted some things, but for the difference in the two sides of like those two defenses, where Jordan was still able to attack downfield, get to Tucker Kraft and seams, like find guys down the field, means that offensive line was doing their job very effectively. And it's just it's a tale of 2 different types of teams, where Jordan Love can affect the field down, like a game down the field, where the first 2 offenses against our Packers defense literally check down city. I'm sitting there with Molly and Nolan, and I'm just like, has Jaden Daniels tried to throw a ball more than 6-8 yards down the field?
Right.
He just couldn't do it.
No, and on top of it, the middle line, but like Quay and Edgerrin Cooper cover everything. Like, the checkdowns mean nothing, because you will not get first downs checking it down every single time, like Tom Brady would have back in the day, right?
Exactly.
That was a huge part of his success and how he prolonged his success too. But this Packers defense, we talked about it already, Mason, so fast, so athletic. The way they close ground and the way they swarm to the ball, every defense in the NFL would like to say they execute and they give as much effort as the Green Bay Packers do. But quite frankly, they're in a league of their own to start the season.
Yeah. And, defense, obviously, like, that's front of our mind. But let's just finish on this offense. And, like, they are doing the same thing, right? It is finish. Jordan Love running over a guy and getting the first down. Like, Josh Jacobs doing the dirty work. I mean, the guy is a great running back, but he's a team guy. Like, he 23 carries, 84 yards, 3.7 yard average, gets his obligatory touchdown, just does – he as long as 10 yards. It's not like he's not going to break out all the time, but the guy will stick his nose in there. He's going to get 3 to 5 yards every time, and he's just going to get those dirty yards to get this offense in a really good situational ball. Well, all of a sudden, if you get a 5-yard gain on first down, that opens the whole playbook up. And that's what Josh Jacobs does for this offense. It was fun. We got to see Savion Williams, get a little, some unique things. I mean, a direct snap to him, fake reverse to Jordan Love. He did slip, and it was like, you got to get those cleats right there on Lambeau Field. And he just laid there like, oh gosh, like, it's the worst. But, I love seeing that. I would say the only thing, and I'm sure you feel the same way, it's like, Matthew Golden not having a catch is a little surprising, right? But then you had Dontavian Wicks and you have Malik Heath. Like, you had other guys. So it's like, it's good. Matthew Golden doesn't have to be the focal point of this offense.
Right.
He is your first round draft pick, but he is a rookie. Like, keep shaping his role in this offense, but don't put any undue pressure on him to go out there and have to be the guy. And what a benefit that they have right now to have all those weapons that they don't have to lean on Matthew Golden.
Well, and let's see how that formats in the coming weeks now, with Jaden Reed expected to miss some time. You break the collarbone. I'm looking at November 23rd. Division play starts right back up. That's kind of the target date I look at for a Jaden Reed, and Thanksgiving's right after with the Lions. If he doesn't make it on the 23rd, maybe that's a target date as well for Jaden Reed. It's usually, they said 6 to 8 weeks. Well, I feel like I've heard 8 to 10 weeks before.
Yeah.
So no, he's already got the Jones fracture in the foot too. Just let everything get healthy on the way back with Jaden Reed returning to this team. But it'll be a couple of months, and we'll see how the roles of Matthew Golden and Savion Williams develop as the season progresses. Betting odds courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook after that game yesterday. Now the favorite at plus 350 to win the NFC, the Green Bay Packers, third best odds to win the Super Bowl at plus 700, tied with Philadelphia for both of those at plus 700 and plus 350, only behind Buffalo and Baltimore. And I'm not saying that you should go do this, but as far as money value goes, the odds for regular season MVP plus 1,100, tied with Patrick Mahomes, which I might say something crazy here. He will finish higher in MVP voting than Patrick Mahomes this year.
Oh,
Jordan
I
Love.
agree. I totally agree.
Behind Jaden Daniels still at plus 1,000, and only behind Allen Jackson and Burrow, not Allen Jackson. Josh
I was like,
Allen,
Allen Jackson, all right.
And Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. The currently tied for the fifth best odds to win the National Football League.
Give me that action right now.
Right. Plus 1,100. I mean, it's juicy.
How Joe Burrow looked last week. I mean, again, we're small sample size. Like those guys are going to play some good ball. But yeah, I would take Jordan Love over most of those guys right now. I mean, Josh Allen's a tough one to just like throw, you're not going to throw, Jordan Love over him right at the moment, just from that first game that he had. I mean, he led that team, their team to a victory, but I would take Jordan Love right now over Jaden Daniels. I mean, watching that game last night, just the effectiveness of Jordan Love, like, and his presence in the pocket. And again, he ran a guy like he ran the ball more effectively than Jaden Daniels did. So I mean, I would put Jordan Love over Jaden Daniels right at this moment, no doubt.
It is the Mason Crosby Show. I want to remind everyone you can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year, $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. The defense, like you said, on our forefront, in our front of our brains right now. Let's get to finishing up talking about the defense. What is one word you would use to describe this Packers defense? Matt LaFleur had one as well. We'll play it again on the other side. It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It is the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz here with the Packers' all-time leading scorer, Mason Crosby. Packers win 27-18 yesterday over the Washington Commanders, and the defense shines again, Mason.
Yeah, and you posed the question right before break. What one word that you would use to describe this Packers defense through 2 games, right? And I mean, we only get one word. I mean, it's like, how can you only choose one?
FCC-friendly word do you use to describe this Packers defense now? Like,
are you gonna go first?
Do you want to go first?
No, I just hope you don't steal my word. Go for it.
Okay. Different is the word I think of immediately, because
friendship. Are they just is it just the Brewers?
Power and friendship and different right now are the words that I can use to describe this Packers defense, because we've never seen this. We have never seen a Green Bay Packer defense in this, since the turn of the century all day, that has been this physical, has been this dominant, and is this hungry right now, Mason, because I think that even without Micah Parsons, this defense was better than we gave it credit for in the offseason, I think, already. And now you add on the elite level of defensive player of Micah Parsons. Yeah. This team is just different right now, Mason. What word were you thinking of?
I was thinking, I like the word, and it's one of my favorite words, relentless.
And
relentless. It's a relentless pursuit of the quarterback, relentless pursuit to the ball, relentless energy and effort. I mean, they are just a relentless defense. And I watch a clip our good buddy Dusty Evely put on his Twitter, and it's like, why in the world is Washington not putting a tight end? They have Zach Ertz, so he's not really an online blocking tight end, but it's like you didn't have anyone helping. Literally, they brought Quay Walker on the clip he showed, and it's like, Jaden Daniels had someone in his face instantly, and it's like, so then he just checks down, he just tries to get the ball out of his hands, and it's like, that is not a good recipe for success. So the only option that these teams have is now put more guys in the box, and now you're probably just inviting more pressure. Right? Because it's like, now you don't have enough options outside to even scare this defense. And they're just going to bring more guys. So I think that relentless energy, that relentless effort, Halfley's creativity has just created this masterpiece that now teams are going to have to adjust how they play against it. And it's going to get them out of any kind of strategy and rhythm that they want. And that is a unique space for a defense, where an offense is literally you are dictating what they can do against you. You take that playbook. Maybe the Bears will be really good with Caleb Williams against this defense, because that playbook's going to be very small.
Yeah.
And that's what he wants. Caleb Williams,
ready to go.
Can we just call it run and pass? Yeah. We just have one run, one pass play.
Let's
right, just do
run
that.
Left.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
Well, another good one that I almost had this. I pulled this almost yesterday, and I didn't. I should have. But Herb Street was specifically talking about it because Al Michaels could never come up with something clever to say anymore. But the thought of growth being a word as well that you could use for this Green Bay Packers defense. Specifically, Herb Street was talking about the growth of Quay Walker and Edgerrin Cooper learning how to play together. But you can go down the list looking at Rashawn Gary and LVN, who we've already brought up, Devontae Wyatt, another name that we've already mentioned, and we still didn't give enough credit to the corners during this on what Keyshawn Nixon has been able to do in his role. And Javon Bullard yesterday was a menace, flying around. Growth, another word that you could totally use for this defense, because the jump from last year to this year is so apparent through 2 weeks into the season.
Well, yeah, and then again, you had Nate Hobbs out there. Valentine played some. Whenever you don't hear corners' names a lot, that's always a good thing too, right? Whenever it's all right, you're not hearing their names a lot. We heard Lattimore a lot on the other side, and it was not in a good way.
Barbecue chicken is his new name. Roasted. Absolutely cooked right now.
No, and I'm looking at this. So I kind of dove into some points per game. I'm just thinking points per game, and the last time the Packers had a defense that held anyone under 20 points per game for the whole season, mind you, which is impressive, is the 2006 and 2005 Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
19.7, 18.8. Do you think, I mean, obviously, like recency bias, yes, they're under 20 points per game holding teams for 2 games. This could be that defense. And if they hold teams to under 20 points per game in the modern era, I mean, this team, like, it's impossible to think this team might not win every game. I mean, let's just go there already.
Right.
But it's like, if they can hold teams under 20 points a game, if they can be that good, like if you're Jordan Love, you're just licking your lips every time you step on that field, because I gotta get 24 points. And we have a really good shot to win every game that we go into.
Well, and you bring it up there too, Mace. The team was a top 6-5 defense last year. Like, with
exactly.
the team they had
we
last
can't
season.
Discount like what they were last year. I think they were top 10 overall, top 5 in a lot of categories.
They're better. They're better this year. 100% they are better. And I think even barring any serious changes that could happen in any way, like I think they're deeper than they've been as well at all these positions. And everyone really showed that through 2 weeks, at least, they have bought into Hafley's plan, and they have their own goals and personal ideas that really just focus on getting their job done. And every player is focused on their job, not necessarily trying to be the hero, but trying to execute what Jeff Hafley is trying to get out of them on the defensive side.
I mean, you bring in a guy like Micah Parsons, and you almost wouldn't blame him if he was like, look at me, I'm a me guy. Like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get mine. But he is not that type of player either. Like, everything he says, I mean, he's building up Van Ness. He's like talking about, guys, like, and how great that locker room has been. And he's like, they're all like me. They are relentlessly pursuing the football. They run to every play, finish every down. And like that kind of communication, that kind of mindset is infectious. I mean, it is a relentless pursuit of that football. And here's the thing, where they can get better is creating more turnovers.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the one thing we can look at from last year, they created a lot of turnovers last year, and it's early in this thing, but if they start creating turnovers now too, like, it's gonna be ridiculous. But that they're not getting turnovers because these quarterbacks are so worried about this pass rush and like what they're doing on that front, that they're just checking the ball down. They're not really giving a lot of DB options for throws down the field to go get picks. So it's wild. I sent y'all the text last night, like Jaden Daniels, when he was running and Micah Parsons was pursuing, right? And he's like looking back to just see where he was, and just like Bullard was coming downhill. And if Jaden Daniels didn't turn the last second, his knees might have been gone. Like, I mean, Bullard was coming to just end him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the kind of thing that relentless pursuit and attack and consistency. And again, I said discipline. This defense is disciplined, and that starts with Hafley. Hafley just has them in a great spot. He's willing to adjust and move guys around, do different things. And it's something that we haven't seen this like dominant of a defense this early in a season in a really long time.
On the other side of the 10 o'clock hour, Mitch Nellis will join the program. We have Andy North for On the Green at 10:20 as well. We'll wrap things up talking Packers and Commanders on the other side of this break. It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
I love everybody. I love everybody. If you're not happy, you're in the wrong state. This is the Mason Crosby. Hi, Mason.
Oh, what's up, dude?
I thought you were going to jump on.
I was going to. I just didn't know what you. Yeah, I was happy that you were here, so I was letting you, bring us in. But it is the Mason Crosby show, so I can do a little something.
I just wanted to rejoice and be joyful and be happy for our 2-0 Packers.
They are 2-0. I love that. I had a read the other day that's had zero, it was something in zero, and I was like, oh,
nope, gosh. That's not how we speak sports.
2-0. Here we go.
You guys get mad at just the wrong stuff.
At least they're not 0-2.
Right,
that would be bad.
Can I be mad at the blogger who I've loved for years, a Brewers blogger, who always says the Brewers score first, whether they win or lose? Brewers score 6-8. Nope. We're not playing golf in Europe.
See, you dislike that. I don't mind that all the time.
Never.
I always
AP style book says no.
Whenever I was cutting highlights across the street, you always put the whoever home team, Packers, Brewers, Bucks score first, because then you would at least know the Bucks had this score.
Stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And then that is so.
But it's less words though. It's less words. Because then they're like, all right, what was the score? 24-17. Okay, who won? And then you gotta you just like to have more of a conversation.
You should know who won. You know who won? The Packers won. The Green Bay Packers are 2-0. They're the best team in the history of 2025. The 2025-26 season. They're the only
through
team,
2 games.
Right, they're the only team that's 2-0. They're unbelievable. I know I'm jumping in midway through, but Mason, it was listen, it was as dominant a performance again against a playoff team. They're not playing the Giants and the Browns. They're playing the Lions and the Commanders, and they are dominating football right now.
Best possible start that they could hope for. There are very minimal things that we can break down and say wow, this is just not going well. This could be an issue down the line. Where is that? There isn't anything. They can get better in the run game, which is kind of crazy because still pounded the rock. We got 84 yards for Josh Jacobs, and then they did some creative stuff too, getting Savion Williams the ball, doing some stuff on end arounds and things in that nature. So being creative, finding ways, getting our tight ends involved. That for me gets me juiced up. Anytime a tight end is having the best day in the receiver, I love throwing to the tight ends.
Just because they don't get love for the most part?
No, they get love, but it's when you have a good tight end, you're just that much better than everyone else. Just matchup nightmares all over the field. And you just saw it last night in that game. You can't account for all of those guys.
Right.
And so when your tight ends are taking, seam routes and Jordan Love's finding them, down the field, that and not just that security blanket.
Right.
It's a guy that is affecting the pass game.
So here's my dumb question for you. Me being dumb, I'm asking you because you know ball. I will admit I don't know ball in this way. When you talk about tight ends like that, how do I know if a tight end's a good blocker too? Because we know Kraft is a great receiver. We think Musgrave's a decent receiver, but it's Kraft isn't going to be on the field as much as we want him to be if he sucks as a blocker. He's got to at least be good enough. How do I know if I'm watching the game, if a tight end is doing his job in the blocking game?
If you're running on the, kind of on the edges, if you're doing zone stuff and those tight, but I think how they have them set up, it's they're doing a lot of, double teams and they're doing a lot of stuff on the edge, just kind of trying to keep guys.
I feel
a lot of motion. Musgrave's moving all over the place, which again, that play call where he goes in motion, like what idiot, like Commanders, why aren't they man coverage on 3rd and short?
Right.
Or
right.
It was 3rd or 4th and short.
He was wide open.
Just run zone.
Like,
what are you doing? So like as soon as Jordan saw that guy chasing him, he gets like kind of messed up in the wash in the defense. And Musgrave just gets in the flat, turns his head around, catching the easy ball, gets a few extra yards. Right. Like that kind of stuff is great. And I think where you become effective in the run game as a tight end as well is through play calls. Like LaFleur did an exceptional job of showing a lot of like run looks and then releasing those tight ends on routes. And like, so breaking tendencies right away. Now teams can't just be like, oh, in this formation, they're running the ball.
Yeah.
Like, and that was a really important thing to show last night. And I think LaFleur did a great job of kind of chess matching that out for future games down the line, where it's now you can't just hang your hat on like what they're going to do in certain situations. And then a guy like Tucker Kraft, he's going to block well because the guy it's just a dog. I mean, he's going to get out there and he's willing to scrap and fight with everybody. So it's a mentality, especially in the run game. And I think Tucker Kraft definitely has it. Musgrave's just not asked to probably do as much in that space. Like he's going to probably be a chip blocker, try to get in front of guys and not let his player affect the running play. Probably a lot of blocking on the backside of the run play as well.
This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Real quickly, I just want to share that Mrs. Thunder woke up this morning in New York City. Her phone was not working. She went to the Verizon store in New York, and they took care of her. I texted our guy, Andy, this morning. He's like, hey, you need me to get involved or you're all set? We're all set because Verizon's the best. All right, but back to
anywhere and everywhere.
That's right. Back to tight ends because I do want to flip this. Everything's positive. Everything's great. Zach Ertz had a day too for Washington. He's 34. Obviously, he's been around for a long time. We've watched him as Packers fans a long time with the Eagles. Then he went to Arizona. Then he went to now he's with Washington. And the play he scored that touchdown on, like it looked like he was run blocking, and he slipped it, and like that's a really good play. But Quay also missed that play.
He did, yeah. And I think that's the thing is like a good tight end can just, it's a matchup nightmare. I mean, a guy that can catch the ball, show run and then get out into the flats or find a seam. And, then you're just trying to tackle a big man that can move out in space. And it's just hard. Yeah. So, if you're going to look at one thing, that was probably it, right? Like that was like the only kind of mishap that happened
it seemed
on
like
the defense. Yeah. And I think it's probably too because they're doing so many creative things on the defensive side of the ball. If you're just not in the right spot in that situation, like it's going to be a hard time to get a guy like that down on the ground. So Quay, I thought overall had a great game, but that was probably the one little hiccup where it's just like, all right, he didn't get on the ground. I don't know if he was trying to, make a big tackle and big play in the moment. Right. It's like you just got to wrap legs and get him down. But it ends up not really, making a difference because was they scored to go get 10, right? And then that's when Jordan Love and the offense just went down the field. Right. For me, that was the best drive of the game, and just because it's like, all right, we need to get this thing and make sure that we win this game. Let's take it to another level.
So speaking of that. And I know we want to talk a little bit about who's shown the most growth from last year to this year, and Quay Walker certainly in that conversation. But twice now in both games, the Packers have had a weird second half drive where it's almost like they're trying to control the clock, or they're trying to before it's time for that, where they do take their foot off the pedal maybe for one drive, and then in both games they've been able to put it back on and get back into it. Why does Matt LaFleur take his foot off the pedal for that one series? Are they going to learn? Jordan Love talked about it after the game that we got to stay focused. We got to keep doing this. And what does it say about a team? Because so many teams we see in every sport, they take their foot off the pedal and the other team comes storming back. That they've been able to take their foot off the pedal, have that bad series, but then re-engage and fire up again.
Yeah, they're obviously clearly this is just it's a really good football team, so that helps, and you got players that can stay locked in and do all that. I don't mind trying some different things. You kind of put some different looks out there and do some more conservative type play calling in those situations. But I've always been a proponent, and the best teams I was on, it was second quarter and third quarter were the quarters that you just went after teams. Okay. It was like try to jump on them. So yes, coming out of half and not just going all out isn't always my favorite, right? So yeah, I think that was a miss. But again, realize it. All right, we're still in this game. We got to kind of do something. And then that next drive was just back to wide open football. Let's go and like just take it at them and dictate the game, because I think you're seeing that. I said that about the defense. Yeah, they are dictating what offenses can do. So now the offense on the Packers, and they've shown, especially in this last game, that they can dictate and do exactly what they want to do for the most part. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Don't get goofy penalties in critical situations. All of those things. Like in the first half, that's the only reason it wasn't 24-0. Was because the Packers just had some goofy penalties that kind of hurt them in situations. Jaden Reed's touchdown catch gets negated by a holding call. You know, it's like
the Fitzpatrick holding.
That
exactly. Stopped the big that looked like it was a drive that was humming, and then that all of a sudden really derailed.
And those will hurt you. And you know, it's
that's a bad call, by the way. I don't like the guy got into his jersey first and was actually holding him, and then like he just like got in the way, and it was like I didn't like that call. That's
I don't like that call.
I just don't like that call.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. This is the Mason Crosby Show. We're presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We are in the fan studios powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, which was absolutely rocking last night, no doubt in my mind. But we did want to throw out a question this segment about who we've seen some significant progress from last year, this year. And it doesn't necessarily need to be like a rookie from last year, just anybody who kind of performed at all level and through two games that we're actually really noticing. And I'm going to throw it right away. I'm going to throw a Bullard. And I know like his name was all over the place last night. He was making big hits. He was making big plays. I feel like because of the pressure the line is getting with Micah and the rest of the line, Bullard like has all of a sudden put into his mind, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat on guys. I'm going to cheat on those dump offs to the running backs, and I'm just going to hit people. And it feels like he's there every time they have one of those check downs, which is most of the time because there's not time to go deep. He's there making that play.
Yeah. I mean, obviously how the defensive front is playing, like it frees up those guys to be more confident in how they're flying around to the football. So I'd agree with you. I think Bullard's one of them. We'll go defense and we'll stay on offense. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this is low hanging fruit, but I mean, Van Ness. I mean, Van Ness has just been unbelievable to start this campaign. And I mean, he looks like maybe not a different person, but maybe just a more freed up, type of player. I mean, he is physical. He is fast. Like you can see that speed and physicality,
and energy, like he's raring to go.
And I think it's just a mindset and like his confidence. And Andy Herman like made a great point of how like you bring in a piece like Micah Parsons, and it frees up Van Ness, it frees up Rashawn Gary to be maybe in a role where they feel more comfortable, where the expectation just kind of falls off. And now it's like, all right, I can just go play ball and I'm going to do it at a high level. And Van Ness has been really impressive so far.
No doubt about it. Do you want anybody else on the defense, or do you want to switch over to the offense? I mean, there are other guys. I mean,
let's talk on the offense.
On offense,
who you thinking?
I mean, as much as we loved Kraft last year, like when you looked at his numbers, he actually didn't have a great season last year. He was kind of inconsistent.
Yeah, he had some good touchdowns.
And I know he had a huge game last night, so it's easy to say again that's a low hanging fruit on Tucker Kraft. But I almost want to say 13. Wicks had some nice
Wicks played a great game.
Wicks played a good game last night. And as much as we're bummed about Reed, the emergence even of Wicks last night, that they haven't even unleashed Golden yet. Like I think Wicks would probably be my vote for this one.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. I would say Wicks. I would say honestly, it's I'd go Tucker Kraft. Yeah. I would say that. Like just if not surprise, but he's taken that next step. Yeah. Like it doesn't have to be all right. Who's like, oh, we didn't even expect much, and they've been there. Like Tucker Kraft took that step, and he is clearly a focal point of this offense. I mean, it's like he is a mismatch like nightmare. I mean, you're going to match up. Who are you going to put on him? Like he can do so many different things. And, and again, he affects the run game. He affects pass game. Like Tucker Kraft is going to be a key piece to this team getting to where they want to go. So you got to be smart with him, keep him, try to keep him healthy.
Right.
And, but he's probably the most dominant player on this offense at the moment, I would say.
How fun is he? Like, how fun is it to see somebody who, I think we're just used to seeing, all right, so you catch an 8-yard pass and you're leaning towards going out of bounds and maybe you hit a guy while you're going out of bounds, but that's the play. Or you're running your route or you're you're blocking for the running back and you're just saying, but it seems like everything he does, there's extra energy, there's extra follow through, not dirty or anything like that.
No.
But like he wants to shove a guy down and then keep going and then shove another guy down and keep going.
That was great. That play was great.
Right. He doesn't want to go down. Like he doesn't want to go out of bounds. He wants to keep playing every play to the whistle.
And again, that's why tight ends are so important for these offenses. Best offenses in the game always have a great tight end because they bring that physicality out in space.
Mm-hmm.
It's like running backs can bring physicality, but they're in the trenches. They're going to, run through DBs and things like that. But if you can get a tight end out in the flats, out in space, and he's looking for contact, you're going to wear a defense down. And that secondary will stop wanting to hit him the way that he wants to play that game. And I saw it on one, he turns outside. I think it was maybe in the first half. And he turns and he thinks someone's going to hit him. And he almost like dipped his shoulder. No one was there. And he almost he got up. You could tell he was like, I probably could have gotten more yards, but I literally went and made sure to hit somebody as I was getting that first down.
I love that.
And that's just the mentality. And it's good to see that this team has a blend of finesse and physicality. Yeah. They can beat you in so many different ways. And it's a unique recipe right now. And again, who would have thought, like, you go 2-0 against these two teams, and it's like these are really good teams. Yep. And if you had told us that as the schedule came out, this team is 2-0 and they dominated these performances. Like it's the sky's the limit. But now I will say, and we'll talk a ton about this next week. Now you go on the road.
Yeah.
Now, how do you travel?
Yep.
Like, what does this look like on the road, even in a spot like Cleveland? I mean, Cleveland's not an easy place to play. Like it's, it can be windy. It can be, weather. The crowd will be in it, even if they're bad. But now the true test is, can you go on the road, bring the same energy and dominate the same way they have?
Real quick, before we get to Andy North, the question we've been asking, what player has shown the most growth from last year to this year for the Packers? If you have an answer to that, Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250. Or if you want to throw it in on the YouTube chat as well, you can do that too on the chat link on our YouTube channel at the Fan Milwaukee. But in terms of team, I would almost say the concept of swarming, the growth of the swarm from last year to this year. And I think it's, and they talked about it last night. They talked about it last week. I know people have talked about it, I know Mike has talked about it. The concept that a team swarms to the ball on defense, I do think often separates the energy level and what a team does compared to other teams where it's like, oh, one guy's tackling a guy or two guys are there and like everybody else just holds up, as opposed to that swarm. I think that shows team growth from last year.
For sure. I mean, Micah Parsons talked about it after the game. He was like, I love that I came to a place that does, like, they play the same way I do. Everybody finishes to the ball. Everybody is relentlessly pursuing that football till the play and the whistle is done. And you see that from him, which again, like we didn't see that from Aiden Hutchinson in that first game. Like there were times where he was jogging behind the ball. So like to have a superstar player like Micah Parsons, whose mindset is, I am going to relentlessly pursue the ball till that whistle blows, is unique. And everybody's doing it. And this defense is just, I think, going to get better and better. Like it's going to be fun to watch as they can continue to progress. And all of a sudden, if they start getting turnovers, the top can just get blown off of some of these games. And this could look a lot like it could look like a 2011 scoring year if they start getting turnovers too, where the offense just gets more bites at that apple over and over again.
Be amazing. Real quick before we get to Andy North, Troy's on the north side on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Troy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, buddy. How you doing?
We're the best.
Like we're feeling great.
We are so excited and happy today.
Man, I'm feeling great too as a Packer fan, man. This player right here, man, has made the biggest jump. I didn't even think that he was worth the first round draft pick. But these first two games, Lucas Van Ness looks like a football player.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
And it's shocking me, man, because I used to get him the most crap with me and my buddies. I was like, that's a wasted pick. He's doing nothing. But for some reason, he's playing extraordinary. Serious. Thanks for your time.
You bet.
Awesome.
Thanks for the call.
Thanks, Troy.
Talk
Yep,
to you
totally
soon.
agree with
Awesome.
you. Dominant.
Yeah.
Not just doing, he's obviously playing his role, discipline, doing what he needs to do, but he has shown that he can be a dominant force on that defense. And I think he's just going to continue to be that guy that just keeps showing up on film, like relentless effort all the time. And finally, separating and making big plays that everyone hoped he would.
Absolutely. One of the nicest guys, like literally on earth, is going to join us next.
Yep.
Like this guy is just like, he's one of my all-time favorites. I've known him for years. I know you've known him for years. He's a better golfer than me.
He's better than most.
I was going to say,
most.
yeah. How about you?
I don't know. I'm going to play
toe-to-toe?
with him next week, so we're going to see. Yeah, I'm going to try to beat him. I mean, he's got a little age on me, so if he does beat me, then I mean, good on him. Like that's just impressive.
All the times undefeated, that's for sure. Andy,
he probably still will beat me.
Andy North, one of the biggest Badgers fans in the world, two-time U.S. Open champion winner, and raises millions of dollars for the UW Carbone Cancer Center. He's going to join the show next. It's a special on the green, a special guest with Andy North, who again is like absolutely the nicest. Cannot wait for him to join the show.
For sure.
Coming up, he's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelson. We're the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers and of Mrs. Thunder in New York City.
That's right.
This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. That's what Big Voice Lady just said, and she doesn't lie. She tells the truth, and that right? That is the truth, Mason. Right?
Yep.
That is the truth. And
neither does us this great guest we have on.
I was going to say, speaking of the truth, he's a great golfer. He's a great Badgers fan, and he's an even greater human being. Joining us now on the Mason Crosby Show on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. He's the one and the only Andy North. Andy, thanks so much for being on the show today.
Gentlemen, it's always a pleasure. And shoot, let's talk some Packers after last night. That was awesome.
Let's go. All Packers all the time, baby.
Exactly. So how's it going? What was your thought from the game last night and this awesome start from the Green Bay Packers?
Well, it's, let's just keep everybody healthy. Let's start there. I mean, it looks like we've got a bunch of guys dinged up, so that the mini bye is going to help. But I love the energy they're playing with. My gosh, it looks like they're playing at a completely different speed than even last year when I thought it was pretty good. But man, they're getting after it, and it looks like they're having fun. And it's amazing when you're having fun out there. Good stuff happens.
Heck yeah. You've been to a lot of games. You've seen a lot of really awesome moments. I mean, this defense looks different. I mean, they look special. They look like they're flying around. When was the last time you can remember seeing like a defense like this just be this dominant?
I think, from the Packers standpoint, we've had some good defenses. I mean, the Super Bowl team, that defense played with a whole bunch of guys that you didn't expect at the beginning of the season. They were pretty solid. I mean, with Woody running, kind of running the show back there. But,
yeah.
You got to go back probably to Reggie, where you had, a defense that people might actually be afraid of.
Yeah.
And I think these guys, it looks like the D coordinator scheming up some great stuff, and the guys are playing hard. And, there's been a bunch of articles written about, getting people, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys on the ball. And I thought last night we had almost every single play there, 5 or 6 guys are on the ball when the tackles get made, which, you don't always see that. I thought they're tackling better. And I don't know if it's they're tackling better in itself or because you got so many guys around the ball that, you're bringing them down without, one guy missing somebody. So all in all, I'm excited. Matt's got a good thing going. They're having fun. I mean, that was a game last night that if they don't get a couple penalties at the wrong times, maybe that's 2 more touchdowns.
No, for sure.
So,
for sure.
Yeah.
I said that a couple times. I'm like, it could have been 24-0 at half if if they just didn't shoot themselves in the foot a couple times and just have a few penalties at the wrong moments. They were looking good. And, but again, I still hang my hat on that drive whenever it got to 17-10.
Yeah.
That they went out there and got a touchdown and just kind of closed that thing out. That for me was a defining drive and shows what kind of all-around team they have there in Green Bay.
Yeah, I thought that was a huge moment, and it just looked like they knew that's what they were going to do. I think that's the cool thing. It's one thing when you think you might be able to do it, but deep down you can do it, and it just looked like they were in complete control, could do whatever they want to do whenever. And you start leaning on guys. Then at the end of the game, let Josh just keep pounding away. It's a nice formula.
For sure. We got Andy North on the green with Mason Crosby on the Mason Crosby Show. Andy, let's talk a little bit about what you got going on Tuesday with the Carbone Cancer Center there in Madison, and you'll just kind of tell everybody what that means to you and Sue, and you'll just kind of what that event's going to be like on Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We started Andy North and Friends, I think it was 2009 was our first event. We'd always wanted to do something in the community that we felt really strongly. We'd always done a lot of things for other people. But we thought, why don't we do something that we really feel strongly for? And Carbone Cancer Center had taken care of both my parents and Sue's parents, a lot of cancer, which, unfortunately we all have had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And, just one of those things that has grown and blossomed, and we've been able to raise some money. And you and Molly are kind enough to come to the luncheon we're going to have next Tuesday and tell your stories, and hopefully we can raise some money and have some fun. And then I think we're going to sneak off and play some golf the next day. Does that sound?
Of course, you guys
on the schedule.
Andy, that's definitely on the schedule.
Right, Andy. Of course, you guys are going to sneak off to play some golf. There was never any doubt, right?
Well, unfortunately, I don't do it much anymore, and I'm not very good. So Mason will probably kick my butt.
We were asking about that. Yeah,
we were wondering.
Yeah, Mace knows what he's doing. So
yeah, he does.
So I'll have to actually maybe hit balls on Monday just to see if I can maybe break 80 on Wednesday. So we'll see.
There's the competitor. Yeah, he's going to be out there practicing all weekend. He's going to go fire, shoot 75 out there and
no big deal.
Yeah, make every putt in sight. If I need some putting lessons, I know where to go, no doubt. I mean, I've seen this guy make some putts. He's just ridiculous.
Well, that was a while ago when I actually cared about it.
Andy North and Friends has been such an amazing event, and it's evolved over the years. I mean, I remember, Andy, the year it got rained out and it became the best storytelling? Like, I wish podcasting had existed then, because it was some of the best storytelling you've ever heard with you and your buddies just sitting around sharing stories. I remember one year, Aaron, the quarterback, was there, and I texted him because I was going to Dunkin' Donuts, and I said, "Do you need anything to drink?" He said, "No, but Aaron Andrews does," and I bought Aaron Andrews an iced coffee. She never paid me back for it, by the way. Yeah, she
never paid you back.
Yeah, she never paid me back for it, so it's cool. It was a gift from me to
I
Aaron.
think she's good for it.
Yeah, she's
probably
good
for it.
Exactly. But it's just like what you have built and what you have created with the UW Carbone Cancer Center and the philanthropy that you have, environment of philanthropy and people supporting those and everyone who's been touched by cancer. It's just like, it just continues to grow every year.
Well, I think most people want to be involved and give in some way, but unfortunately, we don't really know how. And I think one of the things we've really tried to do is teach people how to do this, and to give it to Carbone, for example, where the money goes directly to the researchers. We're going straight to research with this, versus a national organization that who knows where the money gets to. I think that's really important. So we've worked really hard to try to get people to understand that local is really good. And if you've got somebody that you believe in, that you want to fund some research, we've got some people there they're doing some great stuff. And it's like investing in an equity company. You believe in that something good can happen and get in the ground floor of it. And it's really fun to see when this stuff comes to fruition and you're actually helping a lot of people.
Awesome. We got Andy North on the green with Mason Crosby. We're talking all things sports, talking about his great foundation who supports Carbone Cancer Center there in UW-Madison. I do want to talk about those Badgers a little bit. They got a big one coming up against Alabama. What do you think their chances are down there in Tuscaloosa?
Please, Andy, please help us with Mason's.
Well, it's definitely an uphill struggle. Alabama's, I think, not the Alabama we saw against Florida State the first week. I think they've got so much talent there. You'd have to go. I think we've got to go in there and compete like crazy, play clean. Defense has got to, you've got to have the offense and defense working together, that you don't put either in a bad position. And, you got to get breaks, to go into against a good team in their home place. You've got to have a lot of things go well for you. And, I would think down there, particularly getting off to a good start is going to be really important. If you could drive it down the field, the first drive, it's come up points and, maybe hold them for a drive or two. And, all of a sudden create some belief from within that maybe even more than the guys actually think. So, but it's going to be I think this football team Wisconsin's got this year going to be a lot better than last year. Can you knock off some of the teams that you're underdogs to? I think that's going to be the whole key to the season. So it'll be fun to watch and see how these guys grow. And obviously we're on a second team quarterback that had a great week last week, and hopefully he can do the same thing this week.
Yeah, I expect him to be great. Andy, the most important question, just to make sure, I just want to know, do you think that they can cover that and keep it from more than lose. Like if they don't lose by 21.5, I think I win. So do you think that they can cover that spread?
Yeah, I think they can.
Yes.
I think
yes.
I think this is a group that really competes. They're better equipped this year. The defensive line's got some size to it and the numbers. Where last year they had a couple of guys that they just got beat up as the year went on, and we couldn't stop the run at all. And if you can't stop the run against Alabama, you're in big trouble. But I think this team's more equipped for that. They've got a good set of linebackers that can fly around and make plays. So, I think, a couple of good bounces and not, you can't have penalties. You can't beat yourself. You can't have pre-snap stuff. So I think, if they can manage that part of the game and just keep it close, you never know.
Well, hey, obligatory. I got to ask you a few golf questions and, kind of dive into that space a little bit. What's your schedule looking like this year in the announcing front? When's your first trip? Where are you headed to first? And are you going to have a full plate or are you pulling back from that, at all? I mean, you and Sue just go like crazy. Like, it's like you never slow down, but what does that look like for you this fall?
Yeah, I'm still as busy as I ever have been. I don't know what the heck I'm doing sometimes. But, like last week, I was at the Walker Cup out at Cypress Point, which is the U.S. team was awesome and kicked GBI's rear end. This week, I'm at the Sanford International in Sioux Falls, a tournament that I host, seeing a Champions Tour event. So we get that thing kicked off this morning. The first ball was in the air about 10 minutes ago. I've got some stuff. I've got to go to Scotland in a week for an RNA USGA meeting, and then I'm going to the Ryder Cup. So there's not a lot sitting around right now. I've got two more events for TV this year. I've got the PGA Junior League, which is really a cool.
Oh, that's such a great league.
It's a 9 and 13-year-olds. It's like Little League World Series. These kids are so funny and they're so darn good that week. And then we've got a Ryder Cup type event with the Champions Tour in early December, where you've got a team from the U.S., a team from Europe, and a team from the rest of the world. And we did this event 2 years ago. It was incredible. All the stars that are in their 50s, and it literally came down to the last two holes over a 3-day period, point-wise, to see who was going to be the winner. So, that will be fun. And then, before you know it, it'll be January, and it'll be off starting the year, going to Hawaii and, getting the year started.
And Andy, if you need anyone to carry your bags or clubs or anything in Hawaii, Tommy and I are both volunteering our brawn and our muscles to help you with anything you might need while you're in Hawaii.
Well,
Tommy,
did I speak? Is that okay? There's a lot of flights going over that direction, so you can get there.
You can get there for sure. Just
I'll
show
buy
up.
you some new luggage that I can fit in. I'll upgrade you a little bit too, Andy. I got you.
Well, Andy, man, I'm so excited to see you on Tuesday. Molly and I will be heading out to Madison to come to your luncheon and just try to tell stories and raise some money for the Carbone Cancer Center there. And then can't wait to tee it up with you and spend that time. But really appreciate you jumping on the show, jumping on the green with Mason Crosby. Just keep doing the amazing work, and we'll catch up here on Tuesday.
Well, thanks, Mason. Really do appreciate you and Molly supporting it like you've always done it. And we'll have a blast on Tuesday and then goof off a little bit on Wednesday.
Heck yeah.
Sounds like a perfect scenario. Yeah.
I love that.
I'm jealous.
Appreciate you, Andy.
Sure. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it as always.
You bet. That's Andy North on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. And Mason, I've been to that luncheon before. A couple of years ago, Mike Tirico was there, and I was there for that one. So I was thinking when I saw the calendar that I should do Middays with Thunder from there. But I think Sparky's already doing like a Brewers pre-game remote on Tuesday before the Brewers game. Okay. That leads into the leadoff show. So I was like, maybe me going to Madison, maybe that might be a little too much. And now I'm like, that was a stupid idea. I should have 2 weeks ago, I should have figured out how to make this happen. Maybe do the show from a side room at the lunch.
Just
itself.
pretend like you're doing the show.
Oh, I like that.
Just be there.
You got 11 to 2
just
next Tuesday?
talking to yourself in the corner.
Tommy and Charlie could go 11. It just Tommy and Charlie could do it.
Tommy doesn't have anything going on.
Yeah, he's like,
what's he got going? I mean, the guy has so much time off. It's ridiculous.
Just insane. I've actually been working on my golf game because I've had so much time to hit the links lately.
Wow.
Mace. Yeah,
I can tell.
Nice. So yeah, our thanks to Andy North for jumping on the green. It's been a fun segment. Is that officially the last?
I think we
green?
got one more, like one or two more. Okay. One or two more of them. Yep.
But it's always fun when we have somebody who can also talk Packers, also talk Badgers, and I mean, a guy like Andy North. I would make Andy North like a weekly guest.
Yeah,
like
I was going to ask him about Wisconsin basketball because I know he does some stuff with them as well.
That is his he's a Badger football fan, but Badger basketball is
that's where
passion.
he lives. Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, obviously. I mean, I whenever I was playing there, whenever he'd come to pretty much every home game and sit in Aaron's suites, and so I got to spend a lot of time with him, and him and Sue are just they're top notch people. So I can't believe he's still going and doing all the things. I mean, it's just like
he has not
you heard his
down.
schedule. It's unbelievable.
He hasn't slowed down one iota, and with all due respect, like Father Time is undefeated. Like no one would blame Andy North if he wanted to take a break from doing stuff. And he just keeps going.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, he just keeps shaking it up. I whenever I heard Scotland, I was just like, I mean, if you need somebody to go with you to Scotland, I'll do that. Like while he's in meetings, I'll just go play some golf. It'll be perfect.
And I'll just go drink some scotch.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like that's
we got him covered.
Let's
just do this show from Scotland from now on.
I mean, who's going to say no?
Who's going to say no to that?
Sparky and Jason, basically.
Yeah, probably. They'll shut us down.
The people who make the decisions are like, guys, great idea. Find some sponsors to pay for it.
They have internet over there. I can do it.
Yeah, exactly. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nellis. Tommy Wirtz is here as well. Again, our thanks to Andy North for jumping on the Fan Guest Hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. When we come back, we're going to wrap up today's show. We're going to wrap up the week with Mason Crosby. All the things swirling around in his brain. Mason's extra points are next here on the Fan.
Oh, yeah.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today? It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
All right, great show. What a great week. I mean, Packers are 2-0, so I mean that's enough said. We've talked about every piece of that game of this first 2 weeks. I mean, they're 2-0. They're the best team in football right now. Like, other teams are going to have to prove me wrong at this moment. They're going to have to prove that this is not the best team in football because they've just been dominant for the first 2 games. It's they're exceptional. If you're not watching on YouTube, you should be. Jump on YouTube, go to the Mason Crosby Show, go at the Fan Milwaukee. Check out all of our interviews, all of our stuff. We had Andy North on today. Yesterday, if you missed it, we had Chris Gizzy on, former Packer strength and conditioning coach and graduate of the Air Force Academy. If you don't remember, he was the one that carried the flag out. They showed it multiple times on the game. It was awesome during the game last night. What a cool moment. And I'm wearing my Colorado shirt today, rooting on my Buffs. They play tonight, which Mitch,
Houston.
Win against them.
So Houston.
And I mean, Mitch can't make picks anymore. I don't know. No. He doesn't know what he's doing. So I think
I got the pick right last night, and I think I'm the only of the 3 of us who picked the under. So come on.
I'm proud of you.
I am the only one who had the under last night.
I know.
Mason, you need a lozenge.
Was that a missed field goal? Yeah, field goal got the under.
Do you need a lozenge? Do you need some lemon hot water? Like, do you need your throat's a little? I don't know. Just like your throat's a little scratchy today. It's just
allergies. Yeah, I mean, there's always something. There's stuff in there.
When there's a late Packers game, like you don't get the sleep you're used to getting.
Yeah. Restful evenings.
I went down some rabbit holes last night after the game.
Did you dive down some rabbit holes?
I should have just watched like LaFleur and Parsons and stuff like that, but with everything else going on,
what were you doing?
I was just watching some Charlie videos, actually. Just not about like what's going on, but just like some old videos of like Charlie's interactions with the crowd and stuff like that, and just like
nice.
And just like I was just like wishing for like open discourse and open communication. Even like if you're on one mountain screaming what you believe in and somebody else is on a different mountain screaming what they believe in, like we're still allowed to say what we believe and like have a respectful conversation about that. And
that is important. We should always.
So I got rabbit holed last night.
If you didn't hear, they do have someone arrested.
Yeah, they do have someone in custody.
So they got someone within this Mason Crosby show. I know it's not sports related, but it sounds like they are much more confident in the custody they have right now. So just wanted to put that out there for anyone in case they did not hear that news.
Yeah. And I mean, the moment of silence at the game last night, was pretty impactful, obviously, with everything and remembering 9/11 as well. I mean, just a heavy couple days. So, hopefully we can all realize that, our voices can be heard. We can all say what we need to say, but we can't harm one another because of differences that we have. And so I hope they did find the person, and I hope this is the real deal, and justice is served in this moment.
Yeah. And also I hope that, we unfortunately, I hate that this is a type of lesson that we learn from, because it shouldn't take somebody's life to learn lessons, but unfortunately sometimes it does. But if we could all move forward with a little more kindness, a little more patience, a little more understanding, a little more love, a little more hugs.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I think, what Charlie did seem to talk about though, is just like, we don't have to agree, but we can still be united as a nation. We can always, we can still go in the direction that we want to go in. Let's not make this type of moment be so divisive that it ends up making it even worse. I mean, a life was lost because of words that were said. So
what do you got this weekend, Mace?
Let's build this thing up.
Yeah. What do you got this weekend?
Lots of things. We got a soccer tournament.
Sure, of course.
Just stuff. Nolan's going to a camp.
Good riddance.
Yeah, exactly. Busy weekend as always. It should be solid. My mom's coming into town to help. We should be good, but we'll talk to everybody on Monday.
White out at Whitefish Bay tonight against Homestead. Let's go,
nice.
everybody.
Just following the Packers.
Following the Packers, right? Exactly. Yeah.
Just do what the Packers do. Go get that W.
That's not a bad path to be on.
That's not a bad path.
Nice. He is Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nellis, aka Thunder. We're going to be back here doing it again on Monday. The Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're in the fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, where it's going to be a blast all weekend long. Mason, keep on keeping on. I know you got the Cougars tonight. It's going to be a tough one for Colorado. We got a tough one for the Badgers tomorrow. No Packers game on Sunday, so get all that yard work done. Clean up that garage.
Yeah, I need to. I mean, I got some spider webs going on down there, so I'm gonna get the kids out there, get those spiders out of the garage.
Get them to work. I like it.
For sure.
Let's go. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis. Middays with Thunders coming up next. This is 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey and iHeart apps. And, of course, we are live on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee, and we are very good looking. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Have a good one.
All right, everybody, you know what time it is. It is